Turkey is moving rapidly within the global value-based economy. What is the real driver behind this acceleration today?
I think one of the main motivation is the leadership in the country. So as you know, President Erdogan has a call to the world, like saying that a fairer world is possible. So I think all the communities, nations, especially large populations are seeking for a more fair world. I mean, with different aspects, for more fair political system, more fair income distribution, wealth distribution. More fair access to all kind of opportunities. If we look at the today's topic discussion, especially on the finance side, as you know, the Islamic finance is based on some principles like risk sharing and etc. And when we look at the global financial system, it is suffering a kind of systemic crisis. There are always cycles of the crisis. Every certain period there are kind of repetition of them. And actually, unfortunately, this is a kind of crisis. Fed by the system itself, because there is a kind of aggressive growth appetite in the conventional financial system, and it has to be a kind of managed and more fair system. So we believe in that the growth of this Islamic finance is actually beyond the importance is beyond the Muslim communities. It is to provide a more responsible financial ecosystem, and the whole world is seeking for some more sustainable growth, and the sustainability principles are important for all corporates and individuals and nations in the recent years. And I think the Islamic finance is also a major contribution to this sustainable economics. And in Turkey, we have been underlining the importance of definitely to be aligned with the sustainability principles, but also we are targeting to grow the Islamic finance, which is called as participation finance in our country.
After the first Global Islamic Economy Summit in Istanbul last year, held with a strong official backing and in presence of the Turkish president, and as it reconvenes this year for its second edition, and now with your participation in the fourth AlBaraka Summit in London, a new form of alignment is emerging between a global financial hubs. How can this alignment between the Istanbul and London summits reshape international strategies toward adopting a more value-driven economic model?
So first of all, we are aware of the activities of AlBaraka Forum and AlBaraka Summits globally for since its inception, and we had the opportunity to collaborate with AlBaraka Summits back in 2024, and we held the first event 2024 April. And the event was honored by President Erdogan, and some other key decision makers from all around the world participated in the event. And we had a successful event in 2025 as well. It was in May, and we held the event Istanbul Financial Center. Actually, the Istanbul Financial Center as a location was very meaningful because it's a project to encourage international and local companies to export financial services from Istanbul to the region. And since the question is about the event in London and the nexus between Turkey and London, I think the event is first of all very successful in here. So it's my first time to be in AlBaraka Summit in another country. And the diversity is huge. I mean, I learned a lot about what is going on in Latin American countries, in Africa, in Far East Asia, in Southeast Asia, and I think it is amazing to see that there are representatives from different countries to speak about the development of the Islamic finance in their respective countries, and of course to London and Istanbul relations. So both in conventional finance and in Islamic finance, two steers are very well integrated. And today we have representatives of the industry from Turkey. And historically we have been quite active between London and Istanbul to issue some new products, to raise funding, to look for syndications and etc. So I think AlBaraka Summit is adding a new chapter to those relations, especially to deepen our relations with here in the Islamic finance field, because we also had the opportunity to see some decision makers from London on the finance and Islamic finance side.
Turkey's decision to maintain an official investment and finance office in London signaled a clear strategic vision. What advantage does operating from London create for Turkey and for the wider global value?
So for the audience, our responsibility is to facilitate capital inflows to Turkey. And this is the ultimate target. And to reach those goals, we have some promotion activities and we have some facilitation services to the international investor community, both in those traditional industries, conventional finance, Islamic finance, and etc. And similarly, since the inception, back in 2006, we have a global outreach. So we have offices in not just in London, we have offices in Tokyo, Seoul, Beijing, Singapore, Kuala Lumpur, on Asia. So we have offices in Gulf countries, Abu Dhabi, Doha, and Riyadh. We have offices in European countries and United States as well. And definitely, the team in London has a mandate to develop, our relations with the community in here to attract definitely manufacturing investments, services investments, some, investments into technology, and definitely investments into the finance as well. So in the recent years, we have been growing, investing in our team definitely in London because of, the potential to be realized between two countries, and definitely being close to the decision makers is an advantage because we can understand their agenda in a better way, and we can propose them the opportunities in Turkey, because we believe that fundamentally Turkey offers a solid value proposition for the investors, and it has to be communicated in the best way with the investor community in here.
As a global market search for a fairer and more sustainable economic models, what is the single idea policymakers need to prioritize to ensure value-driven systems become part of the future economic landscape?
So it's a very deep discussion actually, but I think taking into consideration that the human aspect of all activities, especially in the economic activities. So we should never forget that it is it should be proposing a value for the individuals, for the communities definitely. And I think it should prioritize again the expectation of the individuals and the communities to have a more fair world for them.
After joining the fourth AlBaraka Summit in London, what early signals do you see that could define the next major shift in the international value-based economy, especially, let's say, in the 5 coming years?
So first of all, I'm really more optimistic that since I had the opportunity to witness the development in different countries, the development of the Islamic finance, I think it is kind of promising for the future. First of all, we are not talking about just Muslim countries, but especially in also in non-Muslim countries, this economy and the industry is growing. I think this is a good signal. And another good development is that these products that Islamic financial system offering is not just for the Muslims again. I mean, it is available for all people from different backgrounds, and we believe that these products are innovative, and again since it is based on some risk sharing principle and etc., it is well perceived by the all clients. It can be corporate or individual. So we hear that just as a kind of housing, financing. So even non-Muslims are asking for such Sharia compliant products because of the nature of the product. Or if we look at the corporate or governmental level, Sukuk, for example, it should be understood in a better way. It is not just a kind of bond, issued in a kind of Sharia compliant way. It is a product which is based on some real assets, some real projects, and we know that it is more transparent than those bonds, because it is defined, how you are spending that raised money, how you are investing in, and what's your plan to deliver, the returns and etc. So I think there were some deep discussions on that, and in the following 5 years, I would expect that the growth of the industry will not just come from from the Muslim communities, but from the all part of the world. And I think we can see a more growth globally because we are all concentrating on our own domestic economies to grow the industry in our countries, but we have to be also realistic in this way. It represents a little over 1% of the global financial system. So we have to grow, the industry on a global scale, and this can be achieved through international cooperation. And for that purpose, such gatherings, the AlBaraka Senate are playing an important role to start communication between different geographies, to start communication or integrate, activities of different players. And I think for the scalability of the business, let's assume that a kind of an entity in a single specific country to finance a larger project, they would definitely need the support of another player, because it may not be suitable for their balance sheet and etc. Just for the technical reasons as well, the cooperation on an international scale is important, and I think such platforms are contributing to it a lot.